Hello! So, I'm starting by showing you how I divide my hair after I shower. And I shower at night so that I go to bed and I put it up in a tight bun, like a ballerina bun. And I do this because once it dries overnight and I let it out in the morning, it dries very nice and smooth and straight. My hair is naturally wavy, so if I would let it just air dry without combing it and putting it up, it would be a little crazy. So this is my trick to having it dry naturally on its own and not having to use the blow dryer, not having to use a hair straightener. So less heat is definitely always healthier for our hair. Now, I'm using a curling iron today that's called Babyliss Pro. It is 1 1/4 inch of a barrel. And you can see that I am dividing my hair in two parts. So down the middle into the back, I divide it just in half. We're going to be thinking about having our two parts of our hair, one on each side of our head, but also with each of those two parts, we're going to think of a top layer and a bottom layer for both sides. So right now you can see that I've picked up a front piece that frames my face. It's about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of hair, inch wide, I would say, and I curl it away from the face. Also, it's very important that we start at the top part of the shaft in the hair, so closer to the top of our hair, rather than curling up from the bottom to the top. This helps save the ends of your hair and not put so much heat for such a longer time, just to help the hair be as healthy as possible, since I do like to use heat on my hair every single day. Also, you will notice that I am sticking with the top layer of this first part, and I like to pick out, I would say, 4 to 5 structuring or presentation curls, like these presenting curls. It kind of structures the curls around each side. We will go in with the bottom layer and curl them alternating back and forth. But first I start with the top layer. I just pick up some pieces and I keep going around that part. So this is the first part on the left side of my head. You will notice that I'm now grabbing my 4th presentation curl, and they are always curling away from the face. So on this side of my head, they're curling backwards, and then when we go to the other side, it's going to be the same deal, curling away from the face. Each of these sections that I keep picking up are still about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of width, and I know that we could be pinning up hair, like the top layer and the bottom layer, away from one another, but for me, that would take away from this being like my everyday look, because for an everyday look, I don't want it to be too complicated. I can't spend a whole lot of time on my hair in general, just the busyness of things. So really, it's okay to be curling without pinning hair away and just grabbing whatever pieces I can. It's not always in the most perfect placement, but I just pick them up and continue to curl, get those sections, at least 3 on the side of the head and like 1 or 2 in the back for each part. And then I do the same thing on the other side. I've already started on the bottom layer now, and these pieces underneath that top layer curl, they're still around my face. So I'm going to curl them backwards towards the back of my head. For these pieces around my face on the bottom layer, what I do with the top layer curls around my face is that I will tuck it behind my ear just momentarily here, just for a moment. Also, you'll start seeing me throwing the other curls left and right just to get them out of the way. Again, this is my everyday look. It's to look nice and loose, so I'm not really worried about bumping them or pulling them out just a little bit. I want them to look lived in. As mentioned before, with this bottom layer, we are going to be curling these pieces backwards away from the face, but also towards the face. I like having and adding that little bit of texture, and I believe, to me, I think that when I curl my curls forward towards my face for the underneath layer, that is, it gives it a little bit more volume, and those curls stay separated from one another, and it makes my hair appear thicker, which I really like. You may have noticed just a few seconds ago, maybe about 10 or 15 seconds ago, that when I threw those curls that I had already done left and right, I grouped the remaining uncurled hair in one big bunch, and I'm actually kind of doing that again right now. If you do this, it seems to be helpful for me so that I can still visualize and see what hair is left, which the goal is to continue alternating these curls frontwards and backwards until there's no hair left on this first part of the hair. And then we'll move on to the other part, the right side of my head. I'm about to press the fast forward for the rest of this hair curling video. And if you have any other questions about what you see here or what I've explained, please put that down in the comments below. I definitely remember what it was like to start curling my hair, not only for the first time, but also just to think about doing this every day. It was just not something I thought that I could do for an everyday look. So I found a little bit of tips and tricks along the way to make this faster. And honestly, I was super amazed that this only took me 10 minutes, just 5 minutes on each side. So stick around to the end of the video so that you see the final product. Right now, this is not how the curls will look. They will be blended together with some taming of the flyaways, some volumizing and texturizing. You'll get to see me complete the other side of my head, as well as some other little tips and tricks. So I will see you at the end of the video. Thank you so much for following along. And again, please ask any questions below. I'll be so happy to answer them. I'm so surprised at the 10 minutes that this took me because truly I've never timed myself before and it used to not take just 10 minutes. Practice really does pay off. You've got this. And please like and subscribe to catch up with me again soon. Bye.